Hi guys. Oh Lord, I'm a hot mess. I didn't even check myself before I turned on this screen. Before I start, just want to put a disclaimer. I am on oxycodone, so I'm a little happy. I'm sore, but I'm okay. Let me just get rid of my phone right here real quick. I want to give you guys an update. Today is Tuesday, April 9th. I got home last night, Monday, April 8th. The doctors asked me if I wanted to go home on Sunday, April 7th, but results from my amylase screening wasn't going to be back in enough time, so that ended up moving me to Sunday to take the test. And the amylase test came from one of my drains that was in my stomach. I'm going to give you guys a little more information of what I found out. Excuse me. I don't know if there's enough light here. I hope there is, and I'm trying to be really loud so there's no audio issue. But so here goes. My surgery was 7 hours and 45 minutes long. There was no blood vessel involvement. I'm sorry, my tummy is itchy, so I'm just kind of lightly rubbing by my staples. There was no blood vessel involvement. Thank God. He was able to pull the scar tissue off of the mesenteric artery and the right hepatic artery, and usually when the surgery is that long, there is blood vessel involvement in the rebuilding of it and so on and so forth, but what he did was he took his time to get everything, really cleaned out for me. I think I'm going to turn this so that I could, oh man, my hair is like I'm bananas. You guys are going to get an upshot, and I'm apologizing for that, but I need to get comfy. Oh, okay. No blood vessel involvement. Yay. So I got to keep half of my pancreas. He removed the head and the neck, and essentially all of the rest stayed. So that was great news. My gallbladder is gone. They removed the duodenum, or duodenum, depends on who you talk to and how they pronounce it. I honestly don't know the exact correct pronouncement of that. Again, sorry, itch in my belly. What else? I don't have the pathology reports back yet from the scar tissue that they removed, because I did send it to the lab to check it to see if there's any cancer cells in there. As far as I know for right now, I'm going to say I'm cancer-free. As we know, pancreatic cancer is a returner. It could come back. And if it does, we'll deal with it when that happens. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling sore. I feel like I have narcolepsy because I'll be talking to somebody 1 minute and be like, goosh, passing out. So if my eyelids start drooping or whatever, it's probably because the oxycodone is kicking in. My pain meds are oxycodone in liquid form, and that's it. And I take 10 milliliters every 4 to 6 hours. They said I could take it through my J-tube, which is my feeder tube, but I'm not using my feeder tube at all. So I'm taking it orally. I am on amoxicillin, 10 milliliters of that every 8 hours, I believe it is. Taking that orally. I'm on Colace and Senecote for their stool softeners, just in case the oxycodone causes me to poop bricks, but so far so good. We're having regular movements. And I'm on Pepsid AC to control the acid in my tummy, and that's just a pill that I take twice a day. And then Yeah, I'm going to need to in 10 minutes. Then, let's see. Y'all saw the tube that I had coming from my nose. That was draining the bile that was in my stomach. And the container that had that really dark, swampy looking stuff was actually the bile that was coming out of me. That came out the very next day because I drained really quickly, and once it had all drained out, it just stopped. So they took the tube out. For those of you wondering if that hurts, no, it does not hurt. It feels weird, but it doesn't hurt. And if you have an excellent nurse like I had, he or she will do it slow, and then right when you start to feel it here, where you normally will want to gag, he'll pull it out quickly so that you don't have that nasty dry heave. Took about a day for my throat to stop feeling scratchy afterwards, but yeah, that was easy peasy. The day after that, I had my right drain removed, and that was the one that was draining near or actually draining my liver. That I'm not too clear on. That had very little secretions, which was great. Pulling that out was an experience. The one for your liver is longer than the other one that's draining your body fluids on my left. The one on my right was for the liver, left was for body fluids. And then right in the front of the stomach is where the J tube is inserted, or the feeder tube, sorry. I have a J tube. I guess there's different types of feeders. I've heard G and I've heard J. I have a J. I'll try to stand up and show you what I have going on. I don't know. I don't want to fall. And I'm still kind of sore, and it's really ugly. I'm seriously referring to myself as Frankenstein. Not the doctor, the monster. But yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to get away from the whole Frankenstein is actually the doctor's name and not the name of the monster. The monster is actually called the monster, and that's kind of like a thing for me. But anyway, I'm gonna stop being retentive about that and just move on. I've been Frankenstein. That's what I should say. The entire experience at the hospital was great. I had a great nursing staff. They were on it at all times. They gave me a bunch of different tips that I took, and I did. Even when I didn't feel like doing the things that they suggested that I do, I did them. And I think that's why I got better quicker and was able to be released so soon. Let's go back to getting the liver drain pulled out. The hose is a little longer than the other drain, and it's not painful, but it feels weird. And if there was a sound effect for that, it feels like blah, 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 blah. Seriously, that's what it feels like coming out of your body, because it's a rubbery tube and it's going through. Well, I have jelly. I have a belly, so that's kind of like what it feels like coming out. And everybody laughs at me when I tell them that, but it's like that's what it felt like. But it does not hurt, so if you're afraid of that, please don't be, because it didn't hurt at all. They do secure the tubes with a stitch, and they cut the stitch before they pull the tube. This one did not require any stitches for it to be closed. They just put like an antibiotic type of mini, I don't want to say it's a wipe, but it was like a little piece of felt or something that had antibiotics on it, and put it right on top of it, put the gauze on that, and taped over it. And 3 days later, it was sealed. And one of my surgeons was really shocked that I was healing so quickly. So that was great news. Now, the other drain, that one they had to cut. It looked like there was extra stitching in there, but they had to cut, and then I got a shot 2 shots to numb me, and then they had to put a stitch in because it's a little larger. And they didn't want those fluids flying out of the body. Those are better absorbed. That was the one that needed to be tested for the amylase, which is something that your pancreas secretes. And if there was any amylase in it, that would have been a bad thing. But when they did the test, it came up negative for amylase. So that was great. Again, I still have my feeder tube. It's taped down. The one on the left side, the rubber drain was much shorter, so when they took it out, I didn't have that whole blah, blah, blah feel about it. So that was great. We're 10 minutes in. I'm not sure how much more information I'm going to give to you. I'm going to try to give you as much information as I can, because I know before I went into surgery, I wanted to find out all the little ins and outs and such on YouTube that I could find, and I didn't really find much about the surgery. So I want to provide you as much information as I can. And if you have any questions, please post them in the down bar, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Crap. I'll just drink my Perrier. My throat's getting a little dry. Game of Thrones this Sunday. Woo woo! So on from there, this tube came out, and then eventually this drain came out. Not tube, but drain. And then my feeder's still here. And I have these tiny little staples across the front of my stomach. You guys saw in the pictures. I try to get as much pictures done. Oh, the epidural came out on day 3, I believe. Day 3 or day 4. But it was quick that it came out. And if you have the opportunity to get an epidural, take it seriously, because that thing was a godsend. I was able to get up and walk right after surgery because I had that epidural. If you've had children and you've had an epidural before, it's a completely different experience because it's higher up on your back. I don't even know if on my back I could see it. I haven't looked. But yeah, it was a godsend. So if you can get that epidural, definitely get it. Epidural came out, and I think that's all the stuff that I had hooked up into me, or inside of me. So I'm hoping I got everything covered, but I am going to move on to the next part, which is crazy, because before I had the surgery, I was a type 2 diabetic. I no longer am a type 2 diabetic. My sugar regulates itself. Oh, I gotta take my Pepsid. Let me just snooze that. Stop, okay? Just oh, I have a iWatch, Apple iWatch, which I love. But I don't have to take glipizide or metformin because my sugars are regulated. So that was wild. I did talk to my doctor. I asked him, before I was a type 2 diabetic, and now I don't have to take anything. I was told I may have to take insulin afterwards, and I was dreading that a lot because I am so not good with needles, and I tried to give myself a Zarzio shot, and it was like my brain just couldn't do it. So I had always been dreading, needing to give myself an injection. But I have to. Not now, anyway. And another bonus side effect, my blood pressure is fine. That was something else I should bring up. When you do get your epidural, it does, take your blood pressure down. And my lowest blood pressure was like 72/52, which is low. Which is why they decreased the dose of my medication that was in the epidural. They decreased it actually they shut off my epidural for 2 hours, and then when they turned it back on, they decreased it from 10 to 8, and that seemed to do the trick because my blood pressure was able to get up to 99 over something, 70 something, I think. So know that if you get an epidural, it could, lower your blood pressure. No diabetes, no high blood pressure. It's wild. It feels like I've been given a whole new life. Dr. K, when I asked him about the diabetes thing, he said the duodenum or duodenum. I don't know if I just explained this or not. Again, I apologize. I'm on Oxy, so if I explain this, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to explain it anyway just in case I didn't. The duodenum or duodenum is how did he explain it? It's anti-diabetic. So the removal of it basically straightened me out. And he said that's why most patients who get gastric surgeries, if they go in diabetic, they come out normal. That's why. It's because of that specific duodenum thing. I'm on a full liquid diet. I was no liquid the first day and most of the second day. Then they gave me clear liquids the third day. I did so great. They moved me on full liquids the fourth, fifth, and sixth days. So I've been eating soups like crazy. And, the tips that I could give you, I like cream of celery soup, so I just eat the cream of celery soup. Cream of asparagus soup, I eat that. Chicken with stars, I warm up and then I run it through my Ninja Bullet and it turns it into like a creamy chicken soup. So I ate that. That was really good. And it was approved by the doctor because they actually did it in the hospital. There's a recipe out there if you could look for Moroccan carrot. I ate that in the hospital. It was so delicious. The Moroccan carrot soup, so good. I'm not having an issue with having to eat soups because I'm alive and I believe the cancer is gone, and that's like the least of my worries, eating soup for like 2 weeks. So I'm enjoying this. I'm turning it into a fun thing. I'm trying to challenge myself of how many different ways I could eat soup. But I would hiccup every now and then after the surgery, and when you're sore because of your sutures or your staples or whatever, your incision, it's not a happy feeling. So there's something, and it wasn't consistent hiccups. It was like one hiccup and then maybe 2 hours later one hiccup. But when it happened, I would like grab my midsection to hold it while I hiccuped. Not that the pain would cause a serious type of screaming. I was just afraid I would pop a staple if I coughed too hard or if I hiccuped too hard. It's more of a me thing, just being afraid of doing something wrong and causing myself more grief. We're almost at 19 minutes. If this message cuts off before I get the time to finish all of my information, I will be making another video. So just know that there will be a second to this. And I apologize again for looking all crazy. I just look at this. Also, if you lack padding on your pooper, the hospital bed is not your friend. I feel like I sat on my tailbone the whole time. Well, the time that I was sitting at least. And when I moved, it felt like my tailbone pinched my skin, and it was terrible. My butt hurts. It hurts. And it's sad because I've always had a butt, and now I have a pancake, and it hurts. So make sure you bring a pillow to like sit on, or a donut or something. I need to pick up a donut because right now I'm sitting on my couch. I'm sleeping on my couch. Sleeping on my bed was not an option. Not for me. Because I kept sliding down, had to get back up, wasn't getting sleep right. My eyelids are getting heavy. I can feel it. Shit. So yeah, I'm sleeping on the couch. I have 2 pillows underneath my butt, and they're wrapped in a fluffy comforter. So that's what I'm doing to keep my butt from hurting. Think. Oh, stop it. Wake up. Drink a lot of water. Keep yourself hydrated. Make sure you keep yourself hydrated. Your body is going to be very, very happy with you if you do that. Definitely walk after you get out of surgery. Walk every single day. First day I only walked halfway up the hallway and back. Second day I did 2 laps. 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And a lap was like around the floor. You know where the nurse's station is. By the time before I left, I was doing like 7 laps a day. And that's because I just didn't want to sit in my room. And the nurses were fun, so you get to like go out there and talk with them, and yeah, mostly for exercise though. I'm so sorry I'm falling asleep. What else? I might have to take a nap, guys. I'm so sorry. I was hoping I would try to beat this before it kicked my butt, but sleeping on the couch because it's the most comfortable for me right now. Yeah, I think that's it for right now because I can't think. I'm trying to fall asleep. So I'm gonna post this. I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm gonna post it, and then I gotta take my Pepsid. Stop it. I take my Pepsid. I think I have to take something else too because there's two countdown clocks. Maybe it's my amoxicillin. I think. Anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna rest. I may come back and finish filming tomorrow. Today I did go and flush my port because they wouldn't flush it in Oakland. I don't know why. But if you have questions, please post them down below. And then I'll check the comments out. I'll check the comments / questions, whatever you guys leave, before I start recording the next video so I can have those answers for you. I'm definitely not going to show you my staples right now because I may end up flashing a boob and that's not my intention, but I am way too sleepy right now to even try to maneuver this right here. So with that said, I am going to head off and get some sleep, hopefully. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with more info for you. Thanks, you guys. Okay, bye. Ooh.